Okay, well, good morning, everyone. I'm Brian LeBlanc, and next to me and unseen is Maureen Rulison.
My favorite way. I have a face for radio.
So, welcome to Dementia Strong, and we're going to have a good program today. We're going to be joined in a little bit by Kathy Blair, who is the president of KRB Move Management. Kathy moved her parents from a large home in suburban Chicago to a two-bedroom independent senior living community in 2006. And Kathy Blair's had her first taste of her call to move management. It was an emotional, arduous task, and yet so gratifying to see her parents living with less clutter in a safe environment among new friends they grew to love. Working with family to move in-laws followed. When she and her husband of 32 years made the decision to move to Florida's beautiful Sun Coast in 2016, which in our opinion, everyone should move to Florida, it required cleaning out of their family home of 24 years and the exhilaration and freedom that comes with listening or lightening up personal belongings and focusing on what matters most. Seeing many who are paralyzed by the thought of packing up to move and blessed by good health, energy, and a passion to serve, Kathy Blair founded KRB Move Management. Former university faculty member and nonprofit executive director, Kathy Blair is a servant leader committed to customer service. These core values of KRB Move Management are paramount in the service offered.
I'm still not here. They're having some technical difficulties getting her hooked in.
Yeah. So you want to do our song and dance routine?
Not really.
Okay.
No. Look at them, not me.
So, here we are, and we hope to be joined by Kathy momentarily, and but in the meantime,
we're going to talk about
the seven dwarfs
of Brian.
It's the seven dwarfs of dementia.
It's the seven dwarfs of Brian with dementia.
All right, are you going to move over and be
No, because
joined?
when Kathy comes on, I need to be able to click her in.
Okay, she just doesn't want to be on camera.
Told you I have a face for radio.
Okay. And I have a voice for radio. Hey, how are you? Okay. The seven dwarfs of dementia. And of course, you've heard of oh, there we go. All right, can y'all hear me now? If you can send a message and just say yes or no. And if we don't hear anything, then
now I have no sound.
That's Melinda. Anything?
Can hear now.
Ah, good. Thank you. So, I guess Should I read this again?
No.
Okay.
So we're talking about.
We're talking while we're waiting on Kathy. We're going to talk about the 7 dwarfs of dementia. I call it dementia. She calls it me. You've heard of happy, grumpy, doc, sneezy, sleepy, dopey, and bashful. Those are the real 7 dwarfs. Well, there's another segment of those 7 dwarfs, and they all live inside of here, in me, basically up here, and they come out here, and it keeps Maureen on her toes, because I've said this before, that when I wake up in the morning, I don't know who I'm going to be. And Maureen doesn't know who I'm going to be, depending upon whether or not I slept or had some pain and whatever it is. I could be any one of these 7 things. Let's start with happy. If I had a good night's sleep, had no pain, got up easy, wasn't woken up or anything like that, just on my own, then I'm usually in a pretty good mood. Would you agree with that?
Keep talking.
Keep talking. Okay. And then there's grumpy. So Maureen sleeps with different men. 7. Yes. I didn't say that. Melinda did. Okay. She's not laughing, Melinda, and she's looking at me with that look like I'm going to be in trouble later on. So grumpy is me when things don't go well. Let's just say I will wake up, I'll wake up in a fog. And Maureen won't know this until I start talking or try to talk. My words just won't come, and so forth. So that takes care, and sometimes I will just be in a very, very grumpy mood and don't want to talk, don't want to do anything, and most of that is because it could be that I'm hurting, and it's just it's not a pleasant thing to be inside of me. Now, Doc, when Maureen is having a rough day or has some pain, we are people of a certain age, so our bodies go through a lot of different things. So if she is struggling, if she's having a rough day, then I turn into Doc. I take care of her. Something in my brain just switches. And those are the days that I, in my humble opinion, is when when I say this, I know what Maureen's going to say. I'm going to say that I'm as normal as I possibly can be. She always tells me, you are normal. It's just that you have this stuff going on in your head. But I take care of her. And that gives me such a feeling of accomplishment, because what she does day in, day out, week in, week out, it's amazing. She just does it. No questions asked. So when I have that opportunity to take care of her, that warms my heart. And it does make me feel like I am actually doing something that's helping. Then there's Sneezy.
Brian loves to sneeze.
Yep, that's what she always tells me, because I don't sneeze just once. I sneeze multiple times. I'm at my best healthy self. Yes, I am, Melinda. That's true. When I'm taking care of Maureen. Mike, he says, sometimes I wake up grumpy. Today, I let her sleep.
Did you see what I said?
Let's see. Where is your comment there?
Right underneath what Mike said.
Oh, Mike, I wish I could. Yeah. You wish you could what?
Let Grumpy sleep.
Anyway, Diane, how are you? Diane and I used to work together at Cox Communications back when I was still able to work. So thank you for joining us, Diane. She
Keep
says,
going.
Okay, I'm going. I get sidetracked.
No, really?
Really. Now, one thing about me is when I get, and this has nothing to do with dementia, when I am full, after eating, I will
They thought you meant of it. Which is always.
Yeah. I start sneezing. And I sneeze multiple times. I mean, I've counted sometimes I'll sneeze like 20 times all in a row. And Maureen, yeah, I can see her out the corner of my eye. She's just staring at me going, you just love to sneeze. And I can't help it,
But you get very angry if I do something that makes you stop sneezing.
She scares me, And when that happens, the sneezes disappear, which on one hand, that's good. But on the other hand, I still had more to go.
Because he loves to sneeze.
I just had to get him out. But she yeah. Anyway, we're not going to talk about sneezing. Anyway, sleepy. Let's talk about sleepy. Sleepy can hit almost any time. If I'm having a rough day, it takes a lot of energy just to do one or two different things. I'm sure that those of you that are on here, I know probably happens with Mike. It just does take a lot of energy because you want to snap back into being clear. I'm not going to say normal. I'm going to say clear because I want to be able to enjoy the little moments, during the day. And so, but what happens is if my fog continues on, from the morning into the afternoon and then goes away, that's when I get sleepy and I'll just fall asleep in my chair.
You actually will go into the bed, and when I come in to check on you and you wake up, you don't remember getting up and going into the bed.
Right. And that's why I didn't say it, because I didn't remember.
That's why I said it.
Thank you. Let's talk about dopey. I think that most of the time I am kind of dopey, but I do have my moments of clarity. And when I do, oh yeah, everything's firing on all cylinders.
I wouldn't agree that most of the time you're dopey. I would say that, the times you're dopey is when the Alzheimer's fog is kicking in.
Oh yeah, but you always say that, you don't laugh. Sorry. You don't laugh. She doesn't laugh at my jokes because I think they're funny. And she doesn't think they're funny. And there should be another dwarf called, I know it says happy, but it should be funny. That should be the eighth dwarf. But I guess we weren't going to do that. Then we have bashful. For those of you that know me, I am very, very bashful and withdrawn. I don't call attention to myself. I find it very, very hard to talk in front of people.
Then we should have an eighth dwarf that's called sarcastic.
Do y'all have any different names of the 7 dwarfs that you would like to add to the 7 original dwarfs? We would love to hear your opinions and your names. So,
but the thing is that, you know what, Kathy's not going to be able to join us, so scoot over.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
The thing is that Brian can be all 7 dwarfs in one day. He can switch from being one dwarf to another and back to the other, back and forth, back and forth. And what I'm finding is that now, as things are progressing, he's staying more in the grumpy mode. And at first I was embarrassingly trying to keep him from doing that by, encourage him not to be grumpy, not to be angry, but then I realized that if I was switching back and forth in my brain from one personality to another constantly, it would make me pretty angry too. And so I stopped trying to change and just went along with it. But I have also learned that I need to realize what mood Brian's in, make sure he's safe and okay, and then sometimes just let him be. Don't try to do anything. Don't try to change anything. Don't try to, help. Sometimes the best thing to do is make sure he's safe and okay and walk away in the house. And so I don't know if Snow White had to do that with the dwarfs, but that's what I do with Brian. So Mike answered your question. He said, yes, I want to be like I used to be. Darnice, that's his wife, tells me if I need to sleep, do so. Mike, yes and no. Because what I find with Brian, and remember, if you know one person with dementia, you know one person with dementia. What I find with Brian is if I let him sleep too much during the day, he doesn't sleep at night. I would say in a month, he might have one night where he doesn't sleep all the way through the night and get that. I mean, he might wake up and go to the restroom or something like that. But when Brian gets a solid 8 hours of sleep, he has a much, much better quality of life the next day. Mm-hmm. So I do try very much to not have him sleep too much during the day, so that he'll get that restful, refreshing, healing sleep at night.
Yeah, and I kind of think that goes with everyone. If they get a good night's sleep, they always feel better. But with me, sometimes it doesn't work that way. I could get a good night's sleep and still wake up in a grumpy mood, or sleep all night long. I'll just put it that way. But I might have a hallucination or something, which it's been a while since I had any hallucinations, which I'm very, very thankful for. But it depends upon what that sleep is going to entail. Whether I have dreams or whether I have anything that will disturb my brain, but it's not going to disturb my sleep. So when I do wake up, we never know, we never know which one of these people I'm going to wake up to be, and that's hard. That's hard on Maureen. And if she didn't have a good night's sleep, which she does not, she usually, what happens is when we go to sleep or go to bed, she waits until I fall asleep, and then she gets up and she comes back in the office and she'll start working again, or she'll do things to help her fall asleep. I never know when she comes back in bed because I'm knocked out. So we all do the things that uh, help us survive, help us to live the best kind of life. That and there's Kathy. Okay, we have our guest now. Well, hi, Kathy.
Scoot over.
Kathy, can you hear?
Hey, Brian.
Good to hear you, and good to see you.
Can't hear you though.
Oh, you can't hear me. Do you have your speakers on? Or do you have speakers?
You can't hear it. She can't hear it.
Hello?
Okay, just keep talking while she's coming.
Okay. I'm just going to keep talking and try to get Kathy to join us. What's this little thing here? Is that...
I don't have her microphone muted.
Okay.
And we don't want to do any of
Can
that.
you hear me, Brian?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. I can't hear you, however, so I'm not sure why.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
What? Okay, so you can't hear me. Well, I know. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. Mike said hold up a note. What do you want to do? I'm perplexed.
I don't know. I thought we were just not going to.
Well, okay. You want to write her a note and tell her that maybe we should do this next week, or... Sorry, folks, for this. She says she can hear. Oh, there's Bobby. Hi, Bobby. We're gonna try to get Kathy to come back next week. When she can get.
We can practice.
Yeah, so we can get everything in working order, because what she has to say could be very advantageous, or would be very advantageous to anyone who is going through the moving process, and in working order, because what she has to say could be very advantageous, or would be very advantageous to anyone who is going through the moving process.
That's
in working order, because what she has to say could be very advantageous, or would be very advantageous to anyone who is going through the moving process.
Kathy, we can hear what you hear.
Working order, because what she has to say
It's repeating.
could be very advantageous. Yeah. Would be very advantageous.
No.
There you go. Can you hear us now?
Kathy, can you hear us? No. But she did hear that echo, I guess. Okay. We're going to have to bring Kathy back at another time when she's putting in her earbuds. See if that works.
So challenged by technology here.
All right. Can you hear us now?
I can.
Oh,
Goodness.
wonderful.
I'm so sorry. This is new technology for us here at KRB, so I apologize.
That's quite all right. That's quite all right.
Well, Kathy, we've already read your bio, so let's go right into the questions.
Okay.
So Brian's going to ask you.
Okay. And as we said, Kathy helps people get ready for a move.
And moves them.
So what can those that you serve expect to receive from KRB with respect to the moving process, and how do move managers differ from movers?
So the move management field is about a 20-year-old field and really surfaced because people need a little extra help with the process. So movers are awesome and they're great partners, but our approach is different. We come in and compassion, kindness, caring. We help people figure out what will fit in their space, bring over only what fits in their space. We essentially take all the stress out of the moving process. We help with the sorting and the packing. We coordinate the movers. So there is a mover involved, and then we unpack and settle them into their space. So what they can expect is a whole white glove service, getting people to where they need to go in a way that they feel comforted, they feel supported, and they feel like I could do this, because I think moving is often an obstacle that keeps people from getting to the next chapter of their life.
Got it. Okay, next question. What sets KRB apart from other senior move management companies?
Oh, I think first and foremost, it's our amazing team. I have a team of 11, and they are amazing, but they're also background checked, TB tested. Most of them are now vaccinated, fully vaccinated, which is exciting. And they're also covered by my workers' comp policy. So they're all employees of my company, and they're covered by my general and professional liability policy. I always tell people that we're also an A+ accredited NASM organization, which is our national governing body, I guess you could say. And so I always tell people this because I want them to feel comfortable with who's in their home. I want them to feel like we're friends, and you can trust us. We're touching their most intimate things. And so when our team comes in with this kindness and compassion, I want people to feel comfortable. So I think that's what sets us apart. We have outstanding people. They're vetted and they're insured. And I think all those things set us apart from, we are the only A+ accredited senior move management company in the region. And that means we're meeting, exceeding expectations set forth by our governing body.
Well, I'm glad that you said about the accreditation, because that leads me right into the next question.
Okay.
What is the National Association of Senior Move Managers, and what does it mean to be an A+ accredited organization?
So the National Association of Senior Move Managers is a great resource for your listeners as well. The National Association has about 1,100 members globally. So when people are moving, and we've seen this a lot lately, they're moving to other states or coming from other states, you can go to the NASM website and find a senior move manager in your area. So we work very closely with other NASM members, and we know they're meeting our same expectations. So it's important. As an A+ accredited, there's only about 1% of senior move managers are A+ accredited. And we are, again, blessed and fortunate to be one of those. And as such, we are meeting and exceeding. So we had to go through a vetting process to be named A+ accredited. So again, as I said, that's something that sets us apart, but it also should provide comfort to the people we work with, knowing that we are meeting and exceeding expectations for senior move management policies, procedures, and all of the operational guidelines. Okay.
That was very, very good and very, very concise. Let me ask you this one. Can you tell me about someone that you worked with whose situation might strike a chord with our listeners on the show? Now, we have people that are living with dementia. We have people that are care partners. We have a mix of a little bit of everything, different people on here. So give us an example of that, please.
So yes, I have just a little story, and this is someone coming from the other coast, and the daughter here lives locally, so bringing mom here to the St. Pete area, and mom is living with dementia, and that's why mom is coming closer to live near her daughter. And so when we are working with folks who have cognitive issues, one of our goals is to try to recreate their environment to the best of our ability. So in this particular case, the daughter sent us pictures of how mom's furniture was laid out and how pictures were on the wall and how things were in the curio cabinet. And so then the daughter kept mom, essentially kept her company during the move, and mom stayed out of the space. And then when she walked into the space after we had unpacked and set everything up, she said to us, "This feels just like home." And that's great.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's kind of what that's what Maureen did for me when we moved. We moved here when January, and what she did things for me that made it easier to for moving day, the actual moving day, to allow me to get more comfortable with the space that we're moving into. So I can attest to the fact that it works, because if we would have moved in here without me not knowing where we were going, with move from one area to another area and everything's different, then that would have been
a disaster.
a disaster.
Well, and I love, when you have the luxury of time, and that is a beautiful approach to this. I think Maureen was brilliant in her bringing items over and you starting to see items in the new space that you were familiar with. We don't always have that luxury of time. And in most cases, we try to do a dementia move in one day. We just did one this week because otherwise, to tease it out, sometimes we have found working with people with dementia that boxes are unpacked at night. There's confusion around, why are all these boxes in my space and what's in these boxes? And then we get back and things have been unpacked. So what we've learned over time is to try to, if indeed it can work, to try to do it in one day. It's a challenge, but it works. So that we pack in the morning, move midday, unpack in the afternoon, and by the evening they're in their new space and it's settled. But with the luxury of time that you had to do it gradually and to kind of see your things in the new space is really a beautiful approach.
And what you just mentioned was so very important, because every single box, no matter how big or how small, was labeled. What was not exactly what was in the box, but kitchen, living room, bedroom, office, all these boxes were labeled. So if I went to a box, I not only knew what was inside, but I would take that box, bring it to the location where everything was gonna go, and unpack it there. Because it number one, it gave me the satisfaction of actually doing something, and putting making my brain work.
Yes.
And so I would bring the office stuff in here and then start unpacking. But then, this is, Maureen works from home, and this is basically her space. And we both use it, but this is basically her space. So if I unpack something and put it away, 2 days later she would go back and look for it, and she'd say, "Where's this thing?" Whatever she was looking for. Now, I knew what it was that she was looking for. I had no idea where I put it. So yeah. So I've learned to, when I'm putting something away, to ask her, where do you want this so I can put it where I know that you are going to
Remember.
to remember where it is.
Yeah.
I really, really wish that's how life went. Life went.
It's my reality, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, moving is unsettling, and any way you can communicate information, I think labeling is a great point. And I don't know if we're out of time here, but we try to label by color by room. So that when we're packing, we use this color coding system that anything that goes to the bedroom has a pink label, anything that goes to the kitchen has a green label, goes to the bathroom as a yellow label. It helps our movers. It's very visual. So they come in and they know what rooms things are going to. But it also helps just if there is unpacking that customer asks us not to unpack something, at least it has a label in the correct room. You know what's in there, and you can do it, subsequent to the move. But that's everyone's issue, Brian, is like, I always say everything is somewhere, it's there. It's just finding it, right? And
Exactly.
Sometimes in a relocation, sometimes you don't have the same floor plan. So you have to rearrange things. And that is unsettling. It is. It's an adjustment for everyone to get to a new space and know where things are.
So Mike Nixon just asked you a question, Kathy. He said,
okay.
Any special tips for those like me who with dementia have added brain disease and extremely limited sight? I'm excited about our move home, but unfamiliar location of items is difficult in various places, and he's asking for tips. And while I'm giving you a minute to think of your answers, Kathy, I'm going to tell you that one of the things that they say sometimes ripping off the Band-Aid is the most compassionate thing you can do. Sometimes dragging this out really, really hurts the person with dementia. You have to know your person with dementia. And my suggestion is always that there also be someone professional or family who checks in on the person every day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this crud they say about drop them off and don't come and see them for 2 weeks. That's ridiculous. That's cruel. But someone who follows up every day for, I would say, probably 6 weeks. Make sure that the person's finding what they need, that if they need a refresher course on where things are, that they're meeting people, that they're knowing where to go eat. So now what are your other tips, Kathy?
Well, to answer Mike's question, I think labeling, as we talked about, is a great approach. Okay. So one of the things we will do is when we're moving people over to a new space, and it is different, is we will take, I don't know if you've seen the frog tape or the painter's tape. It doesn't hurt anything. The green tape or the blue tape. And we will label all of the drawers. Okay, so if we've had to change cabinets or change drawers, we will put those labels. It's just a piece of tape with the writing on it, what's in there. And so when things come out of boxes and they go in drawers or they go in cabinets, we'll have a label on it. It does help to have that visual. Maybe you don't need it over time, but at least initially, as you're getting acclimated to the new space, it's helpful to have visual, signs for people. So that's one thing. Maureen's point is excellent in that support, if there is someone to support, and some of our customers have no family support, but someone like Maureen could be that person who can help with the transition. Any move is traumatic. Our role is to get you to your destination, but from that point on, to have someone who can help you get acclimated, feel comfort, is just a real gift. So if it's not a family member, if it can be someone like Maureen as a partner in getting people acclimated, it's a great, great thing to do. And we have talked about having someone even take them during the day, and have a day with them during the move instead of being in the middle of we discourage totally someone, even a customer with, without dementia, actually anyone. Just there's 3 of us team members, 3 or 4 of us, there's 3 or 4 movers. It's a lot of activity, and it's disorienting and it's unsettling for anyone.
Kathy, your idea of labeling is excellent. With some of my customers who are a little further in the process, I've taken pictures of what's inside cupboards and drawers, and with my phone, and then printed them up and taped them on the outside, so that, because I found some persons living with dementia have difficulty conceptualizing that there's something inside.
Well, that is a great point. And I was looking for an example because we just did this with 82 boxes where as we were packing, we laid the stuff out on a table. We took a picture of what was in the box, and then we put them in the plastic, the plastic envelopes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're taping them to all the boxes. This is a customer who has literally on the lower level of their home, a garage that has shelving, and we're going to have about 90 boxes down there. So we have an inventory list of what those boxes have, contents, and then we have a picture on each of the boxes as to what the contents are. So they can look by number to find the box, and they can also look at the box and see what's in there. I think that's a great, and I forgot about that, Maureen, so thank you for reminding me, to see that visual outside the box or outside the cabinet or outside the closet door is a great way for people to remember what's inside there. And again, this is for everyone. The customers we're working with do not have dementia, but it's still helpful to see what's inside these cupboards, what's inside these cabinets, and in this case, what's on the shelves. So
now I know, and if I've asked you or this question already, and if you have said anything about it, I'm sorry for repeating myself. But how often, when a person is moving, say, especially if it's a local move, do you take them? Does your company take them over to the new location where they will be living and show them around as far as what their area is going to look like?
So that's our partners who are known as the placement folks.
Okay.
They're doing that. So there's quite a few different companies that we work with who are fantastic at finding the right place for people to move. And their role is to bring them, show them where they're moving, and kind of manage that piece. We try to really stay in our lane and we can't be everything for everyone, nor do we want to be.
Right.
That's why we reach out to people like Maureen to help us, with the acclimation after, because our role is relocation. It really is. We don't do estate sales either. That might be a question people ask. Do we sell things? I feel like that's a whole nother head, and you'd have to understand the value of things. So our role is relocation, getting them sorted, packed, coordinating the movers, unpack, settling them into their space.
Yeah.
So Kathy, we have developed a question that we ask all of our guests, and it's a sensitive question, but it's good. God forbid you were diagnosed with dementia and had to be moved. What would be the most important thing to you that company do for you?
I think show compassion and kindness. Like we talked about, movers can move your stuff. But it's much more than that. It's someone who is patient and caring and really listens to, what's important to you, So we try to, in the very first meeting with people, try to get a sense of, this is where you sit. This is your most important chair. This is how you use different things in your house. And we're also at-home specialists. So if people want to stay at home, we can help them figure out how to make their space navigatable as well and safe. So I think I would want someone like our team members who will care, listen, and try to make my new space as comfortable and safe as possible.
Brian stood up in front of about 500 nursing home administrators and assisted living executive directors in Charlottesville, Virginia. And right about 2/3 of the way through his presentation, when he tells them that he was diagnosed with dementia early onset at age 54, he asked people in the audience to raise their hand if it was less than 10 years until they would be 54 years old. I would tell you the vast majority of them raised their hand. He said, now, can you go back and make the place that you work a place that you would want to be your home if in 10 years you were diagnosed with dementia? And I tell you, I watched the faces of those people, and I literally saw light bulbs flying up and over people's heads. And so that's why it's kind of become our signature question. We don't want anyone to be diagnosed with dementia. Please don't think that's our point. But, you know, sometimes, I believe almost always, the birth of compassion is walking in someone else's shoes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think I mentioned that to you. I broke a few bones in December and I started using a boot and a walker briefly.
Oh.
And all of a sudden I felt for, really, everyone who was moving quickly around me, I felt like, oh, they're going to knock me over. I started feeling like I understand what our customers are facing when they're using walkers, and there's a lot of activity around them. And no, I totally agree. The walk in my shoes exercise really has a powerful impact on how you approach things. And Maureen, that is a great question for administrators. Is this a place you'd want to be if you were the one?
I think it brings up what Dr. Brene Brown talks about is vulnerability, and that's a hard space to be in your own mind. So
Yes.
with your boot and feeling vulnerable that you were going to get knocked over, I've become extremely conscientious of what it feels like to be someone with dementia in a space. And I also find myself getting very angry with people, which they don't know and they don't understand, but it's our job to help them understand what it's like.
Right. And there's a great tool that one of our communities uses where you put on the headphones and you kind of feel what it's like to have, what I'm talking about? Yeah, the virtual.
Yeah.
That was very enlightening, for me, like what's in the medicine chest and what the bathtub looks like, just the whole visual. It's a great exercise. We had planned to do it with our whole team, and then COVID hit. So it's still something we want to do. I was able to do it. One of the community administrators allowed me to do it. Very insightful. And it is a whole different, even hearing, right, is different. And I think that we have had, and we would love to have you guys attend one of our staff meetings, because we have done training for our entire team, dementia training, just to, again, we can't live it. Obviously we can't live it, but at least we can be more in tune with some of the things that our customers may be feeling and seeing. So, we hope to do that now that COVID is we're coming out of the fog and we're able to be with each other again.
Well, we can put ourselves in our car and drive wherever you need us to. So
Perfect. I will have you come to one of our team meetings. We try to do that every other month and have a training element. So it's always good to be reminded. And what we have said, excuse me, is that this is an issue. It's something that we need to stay connected to, because so many of our customers are in the various stages. And so we need to continue to train and be alerted to what we need to know as senior move managers to make the situation simpler, to make the overall experience better.
What Maureen was talking about earlier about the what ifs. Mm-hmm. Those are the type of questions that we love to ask, because they could be looking at something, the audience, whoever we're speaking to, they could be looking at it from one point of view, but then when you make it personal, and ask them a direct question like, what if this was happening to you? What would you want, or what would your experience be? Do you have any idea about that? That's what gets the wheels churning. And that's when they hopefully go back to their community and start making changes.
Absolutely.
And that's all that we can ask for.
I try to, when I feel frustrated with Brian because he can't remember, or, whatever the symptom is of dementia, I try to say to myself, if you think you feel frustrated, imagine what Brian feels like right now.
Absolutely.
I can be a little frustrated at times.
Yes.
Well, Kathy, again, we want to shout out KRB Move Management for people in the Tampa Bay area. And I would also say that if you look up the N like Nancy, A like Apple, S like Sam, and M like Maureen, yay! If you're not in the Tampa Bay area, then you can find someone. I can't say they'll be as good as Kathy and her, but they will at least have the same standards to work by.
Yes, NASM is a great resource. And there's also other, documents on the NASM website that can help just understanding, what you need to look at during the moving process. I provide a complimentary consultation. And I never feel like it's a waste of time, even if people do not hire me. I think anytime I meet someone, it's always a growing experience. So, and I do provide a lot of resources for people during that complimentary consultation. So if there's a time that I can come out and help just even, assess what's happening, if you plan to stay at home, again, we're at-home specialists for people who are not ready to move to a community and want to stay in their home, who can make certain accommodations to make their home safe. We can help with that as well. So I am glad to meet with, folks for an hour. It usually ends up going longer than that, but an hour, and help them, kind of think through what needs to happen. I'm glad to do that. It's one of the most actually exhilarating parts of my job.
Well, I know that to be, you are an extremely compassionate person. And so one of the reasons that Caregiver Support and Resources uses you as one of our partners. And we thank everybody who hung in with us for this additional time. We know getting to hear Kathy talk was worth your time.
Oh, thank you so much. And I apologize for that.
That's all right. Technology is never your fault.
I was going to say thank you and your husband for continuing, to try to get on, and we're so thankful that you made it on. So
thank you.
I'm sure the information that you shared is going to help a lot of people.
Thank you for your patience, and thank you for the opportunity. You're doing great work.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
And listeners, thank y'all for joining us today, and tune in next week right here on We Are Dementia Strong for your next
week. It's Brian and I, so it's back to just us.
Yeah. And if you have any suggestions for a topic, let us know.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.